Newborn American babies. Newborn citizens of these United States. Free and with rights guaranteed by the Constitution. But let's take a closer look. These new arrivals in a typical American town have equal legal rights. In class, they are not equal at all. Each has a social status handed on to him by his family, ascribed to him at birth.
Did you buy outside your social class? Did you buy a wristwatch which is beneath you? Did you buy a wristwatch which is way above your social standing in society? It's very important to be content and happy as a person to buy the wristwatch which is in line with your social class. There's no point for a garbage man working with low-skilled to medium-skilled blue-collar workers to buy a Patek Philippe, besides the financial impost which would prohibit such a thing. It's also very bad for the person's psyche and social standing. It will confuse the individual, particularly the working class, less educated, less bright individuals in society. One needs to buy a wristwatch in line with their social standing and social class. This is a very important thing. For example, if you're from the working class, the semi-skilled manual labor class, you really do need to buy wristwatches under the $1,500 barrier. This includes a range of shitters, and affordable wristwatches. One does not want to spend too much money when money is very tight, living in the run-down section of town. This is a very important thing. Similarly, if you're in the middle classes, you might want to consider an offering from Omega, a steel Rolex. You might want to consider brands like Baume & Mercier, Oris. You might want to consider middle class solid brands which offer you fulfillment. They offer you sustenance and are appropriate. They are class appropriate for your horological needs. The middle class themselves, they're quite acceptable to have a working man's Rolex. This would include such items as a steel Submariner, a steel GMT. These are middle class aspirational brands. The ideal lower middle class wristwatch in this study here is the Tudor brand. Tudor, it's a brand for the lower middle classes. Tudor is a fantastic brand. It is now hip to be lower middle class in America. The Tudor brand has got retro style. It has got everything happening for it. Tudor is the brand to have for the middle classes. The upper classes would cover such brands like Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constantin, brands like Breguet, high-end Rolex watches. You would have two-tone and going up to solid 18-karat gold. These are pieces for the upper classes to wear. One's position in society is very important. The right wristwatch sets you up for happiness and fulfillment. If you've often wondered, why am I not happy? Why am I not fulfilled? Maybe it's because you've bought a wristwatch outside your social class.
Meet Guilford Ames III, the latest addition to one of the town's upper-class families. Guilford Ames II is the wealthiest man in town. He owns a large factory. The Ames is one of the oldest families in the community, and so it represents prestige as well as wealth. This is where an Ames family has lived for the last 100 years, and this is where Guilford Ames III will live.
Do you mind if I stay for a while? All snuggle up in each other's arm. Do you mind if I stay by your side? Just looking at you all the time goes by. Do you mind if I stay by your side? Just looking at you all the time goes by.
The upper class brands. Well, Patek Philippe would have to be the king of the upper class brands. This is a very much an upper class private school Ivy League brand for the top 10% of society. Patek Philippe. You never actually own a Patek Philippe, you merely look after it for the next generation. This is upper class, upper class, upper class. The other brands that appeal to these people are the brand Vacher and Constantine, Audemars Piguet, Breguet, JEWELLERY. There's a host of really good brands. IWC. These are very, very important brands for the upper classes. These are brands which need to be respected for the financial the financial imposition as well as the social standing of these pieces. These are luxury watches for the upper classes.
Like most of the babies here, this one, Theodore Eastwood by name, has an ascribed status of middle class. His father is Joseph Eastwood, high school educated and a white-collar worker in the Ames factory. He has a steady, skillful job and is comfortably off, but the chances are that he will not advance much beyond his present status. The mortgage on his house is on its way to being paid, and someday it undoubtedly will be. Although young Ted Eastwood has an ascribed status of middle class, the best status he achieves during his lifetime may be higher than the one he was born with. It could be true to
the lower middle class. Most Americans describe themselves as being lower middle class. The ultimate lower middle class brand in America is the Tudor brand. And this is a perfect example of the lower middle class in society. It's a brand which is very much aspirational. The working classes often are striving to buy a Tudor. It's a brand for the lower middle classes to enjoy and harness. It has the quality of a Rolex case with the thriftiness and financial savings of an ETA non-Rolex movement. The in-house, well, let's be completely frank there, they were borrowed from Breitling. So, it ain't no high-end fucker. It ain't no high-end fucker. The Tudor brand itself is very much for the aspiring lower middle class. Other brands for the middle class include Breitling, Omega, yes, Omega. The Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon is the ultimate middle class teachers, ultimate middle class Breaking Bad type of wristwatch to wear there. It's a scientist type watch in a low-end part of America. The middle class Tudor, Omega, Bowman Mercier, Iris, so many brands are for this group here. So many brands, so many choices to make there. These are brands for the middle class to enjoy. These are brands for the middle class to enjoy. To enjoy. Very much so. Tudor, the ultimate symbol of the lower middle class.
Baby, David Benton, whose ascribed status is lower class. David's father is Michael Benton, an unskilled factory worker who has a meager education. Mr. Benton rents the upper floor of a two-family house in a rundown section of town.
The working class. This is these are semi-skilled, unskilled laborers, blue-collar laborers. These are these are people who are above the homeless level in society. The working class, these are gainfully employed, but semi-skilled and unskilled labor. What brands do they wear? Well, they take a category of wristwatch called the shitter. The shitter. The shitter. That's right. Such brands in this lineup here include watches from TW Steel, Seiko's, affordable Seiko, Citizens. There's so many brands that appeal to this type of genre punter out there. There's many brands of wristwatch. Very, very important that the working classes, basically any wristwatch under $1,500 new, classified as a shitter is a piece for the working class, the blue collar, the semi-skilled. This is the wristwatches that they should be buying and having for fulfillment and satisfaction in their life.
This new Benton baby has the ascribed status given him by his family. He may, as he grows up, reach a higher achieved status as Ted Eastwood did. Or he may, as his own father did, stay in the class to which he was born. His vertical mobility will depend greatly upon him, his character, his talents, and abilities. It will possibly depend, too, upon geographical mobility, because the criteria for class boundaries vary from place to place. And so it will be for all these babies, all citizens, all equal before the law, but not the same by standards of class.
Okay.